Hello, I'm Pastor Ernest Jones. I'm the senior pastor of True Vine Ministries, and welcome to the Vine Daily. I'm glad to be able to share with you on today. You know, the Vine Daily is this daily devotional that we send out to just encourage you, just to speak a word into your life that will hopefully have you walk as an overcomer on today. Hey, the other day I had an opportunity to preach at a revival at Lewis Chapel. We went over there and hung out with some of our brothers and sisters in Christ, and they were having their beginning of the year revival, and a part of their theme was greater victories. So when I saw that, I felt led of the Lord to use that as my subject for the message that I went to share with them. And I wanted to just take this week to kind of share some of the nuggets that I dropped over there when I was there. And there were 5 main points that I was talking about. And so what I'll do is each day, talk about one of those main points, okay? Now, I use as the background for the message, I use the story of David. David, most people are familiar with the story of David and Goliath, okay? And David is tasked by his dad to go find out what's going on with his brothers who are in the Israelite army. They get ready to go fight against the Philistine. David shows up. David sees this big old giant out there. He's defying the army of God. The army is paralyzed, can't go forward. And so David is trying to figure out what's going on. And so in the story, when David goes to King Saul, he lets him know, hey, I'll go out there and fight this dude. I ain't scared. I'll go out there and fight this dude. And the reason why David said that is because he had some victories up under his belt. He had fought a lion at one time that tried to take one of his daddy's sheep out of the sheepfold. When David went after him and fought that lion and won, then he ran down a bear one day and caught up with the bear who was trying to do the same thing that the lion was doing, and he took that sheep away from that bear, and he killed the bear, and he also killed the lion. And so now he's looking at this as just another battle. But this battle was, of course, a greater battle. I call it a greater battle or a greater victory, because we don't, nobody doing stories about David killing the bear or David killing the lion. They're doing stories about David killing Goliath. So this is a greater victory. And so there's several things in the story that really caught my attention that I just want to mention. And so when David first brought up the idea to King Saul looked at this dude. He was like, you can't do this. You can't do this. Okay. And so when I thought about what King Saul said, it brought to mind this number one bullet I want to talk about, is that greater victories are not won by people who listen to those who don't think it can happen. Okay. Greater victories are not won by people who listen to those who don't think it will happen. See, people who don't think that things can happen, they will hold you back from the greater victories that you can have in your life if you let what they have to say get into your spirit. Now, I want to make myself clear. I'm not talking about having someone that can give you some good counsel, that's someone that you can bounce some ideas off, and maybe they can, give you a better way of approaching something or doing something. The Bible simply says that in the multitudes of counselors that we are saved. So I'm not saying that. I'm talking about people that are just negative, people that won't even consider what this idea is, what this thing is that you're trying to accomplish, and this thing that you're trying to do. We call them negative Nancy's. They are those type of people. We cannot listen to those people because they'll kill a dream before a dream even gets started. And so we got to learn how to shut them down and not receive all that negativity that they want to put into us before we even try to do what we believe that God has given us the ability to do. So what David does is that David is like, hey, Saul, I hear you, man. I hear you, but I got some victories behind me. And I believe that God has appointed me and anointed me to deal with this Goliath that's before me. So that's the thing that I want to share with you, that in this year, because I believe that we're going to experience some greater victories in this year. In this year of greater victories, I want you to understand that you have to shut off the noise that says that you can't do it, and you got to believe that God has appointed you for such a time as this. That's point number 1. I got 4 more I want to give you for the rest of the week, but have a tremendous day, and I look forward to talking to you tomorrow.